Banda. Remember, we are also live on our partner radio stations across the country. We are live on Tuta FM, and that is on 90.7 in Mansa, meaning that they are covering the Luapula province. Grateful that you found time to tune in. We are also live in Chinsali, covering the rest of Mchinga province on Mchinga Radio. That is on 88.1, and live on the Copper Belt on iWave FM radio on 90.1. And of course, they are in Chingola, but covering the rest of the Copper Belt, and Kabwe and Central live on Spice FM on 91.1. Here in Lusaka, it's 89.9 here on 5 FM radio, and the surrounding areas are well covered. And we are also live on Wave FM radio in Mazabuka, covering the rest of Southern Province. Grateful that you could find time to tune in. We are also live on our Facebook page, by the way. It's 5FM Radio Zambia, and also our YouTube channel, 5FM. Now, my guest today is the National Democratic Congress UPND Alliance Secretary General in Mr. Joseph Kasonde. Always a pleasure to have people like yourselves on this program because I know that the position you hold is very key, and it will be able to make us understand a number of issues. First of all, concerning NDC as a party, and your alliance with the UPND, and generally how the two, I mean, the UPND alliance with its alliance members are doing in terms of, stabilizing the economy and of course, bettering the lives of Zambians. So it will be very, very important that we hear from you. Welcome to the program, and how are you?
Thank you very much, Zach. I'm very well, thank you. And also good morning to the listeners, and also, of course, the viewers, those that are on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah.
How is NDC? And which NDC are we talking about?
NDC, we are well and alive. And the NDC that we're talking about,
Yeah.
the NDC that is in the UPND Alliance.
Right.
And you may wish to know, Zach,
Yeah.
that in Zambia, here, as I stand,
Right.
as I see it, as I speak, there is only one NDC in this country, which is the NDC that is in the UPND Alliance. And the reason why I'm saying that, number one, is because I have a certificate of registration here, which no other person that's going to masquerade and say, I am NDC and stuff like that. And this is what it is. Therefore, if there will be any person in this country, come to the radio station. You journalists have always said, make sure, do investigative or balance the equation by asking, can we see your certificate of registration? Because we don't believe that the registrar of societies will be able to issue two registration certificates to different people. That's promoting chaos in the country. This is number one. And then also just to show that the NDC that is there, it's only one, and it's the one in the UPND Alliance. We have even made returns, which we make yearly.
Yeah.
And I have an invoice here.
Yeah.
And I have even a receipt showing. Now, I'm trying to bring all these things before you to ensure that anyone is going to rebut, please ask these pertinent questions to prove their authenticity. So we have. And at the same time, you may wish to know that NDC at one time, we were deregistered. I think it was 2019 thereby.
Right.
And my predecessor, Bwana Akafumba, I think he fought tooth and nail. And we were always driving to Kabwe until the party was restored. And at that time in 2020, I think we were also bound to submit a new or revised constitution. Once you have been deregistered, the registrar of society, sometimes they will demand what they want. And I have a party constitution here, which was deposited before the registrar of societies. That was in 2021. Okay. And then we have also a National Democratic Congress disciplinary regulations. All these were deposited before the registrar of societies. That was on 20th October 2021. Now, anybody that's going to come here, please ask for them. Do you have a constitution? Can you have a copy of that?
What if they equally have what you have?
This is where we are saying, let us see how fraudulent somebody can be, or who should be held responsible for promoting anarchy or chaos in the country. Now, I'm saying that you are the best people that will be able to help. And not only that, we are saying we are the end that is authentic, and that is in the alliance, and that is the only NDC, because you may wish to know that at one time, when there was a breakup of the NDC, that prior to the August 12 elections 2021.
Right.
Yes, we were 3 years down the line in the alliance with the UPND, but then for no reason, so to say, Bwana Kambwili decided to come and say, no, as president, we cannot go anywhere to support the alliance. And then it was ourselves who believed in the constitution of the party that felt, no, we cannot be able to believe in you as a populist leader. But then it so happened that those people that believed in him to think NDC is Kambwili, they went with him. Now, that breakup again at that time, it caused this party now to go into two. That
Factions.
is where, not two factions. Yeah, it just broke into two, having now what you make done. That was a splinter group, but we are the men, we are the legit. Therefore, we wanted also to indicate that even if that branch has gone off, let's be able to go to the courts of law. You know, we as NDC, we believe in the rule of law. And what we wanted was to ensure that we don't go fighting on the roadside, street fighting, but our colleagues wanted to think the best way would be to be on Facebook, this and that. We ran. We went to the courts, and then we sued Mr. Kambwili and his group. But then when the courts gave us a date to go to the courts, before that date could come, that's when they went wild here, there. You know, sometimes certain people, they can speak 100 words in a minute, but somebody who is steady and knows what he's doing, he may speak maybe 20 words in a minute. So we felt, no, this is not the best way to go. For us now, we had to now file in an injunction. And an interim injunction was given to us, which we saved on Mr. Kambwili and his group. That's where Savoy, Mr. Kaonga were. And unfortunately, Mr. Kambwili and the group disobeyed the court injunction. And it was at that time where they were cited for contempt. And today, as we speak, anybody who may come and say, I'm NDC, for instance, Madame Savoy, she's one of the alleged contemners, and they are before Ndola High Court to explain to the judge as to why they cannot be sent to prison. Therefore, we are the legit, and we have all the authenticity. And I've even got a copy of the injunction. This is the copy. Because if somebody comes here, for instance, if herself, she comes to say, I'm NDC president and stuff like that, tell you are aware about the injunction country one day. They should be able to be exemplary, good, so that it shows that they are not above the law. Because the courts is another arm of the government. And once you are told, don't do this, it is in the name of the president. And if one day you want to rule this country, not ichirie valanda tifimu ichita. If you are conquer, if you are large, what are you trying to say to the Zambian people? This is not a country where we're going to apply jungle. Hold on, you keep on. So there's an injunction here against Bwana Kambwili, against Madame Savoy, against Mr. Kaonga. There was even a Mr. Mbulo, but unfortunately, when he came back in the party, I think he pleaded, and then the judge struck off him because he repented. He was repentant. Now we're remaining with these three alleged contemners. So they are before the courts, and they are not NDC. We are the legit and the party that is in the ruling in an alliance. Yeah.
Now that you have explained the legitimacy about the legitimacy of NDC, which is in alliance with the UPND, let's move on and find out how the alliance itself is doing. I mean, you are in alliance with the UPND. I mean, there's been a lot of talk and word and rumors of relationship not being very mutual, and I think that there are certain members who feel Mr. Kafumba betrayed the rest, and all because he's enjoying and he's got bread and butter on his table. He doesn't think of the rest of the members and so on. Let's discuss. I mean, these are not new allegations to you as SG.
Okay.
What is the status quo,
No,
really?
you
Especially
see,
the relationship
NDC
and
UPND.
UPND vis-a-vis Akafumba in the center.
No, I think for a start, the current PS Home Affairs, Internal Security and Drug, Mr. Rix Joseph Akafumba, he's a civil servant now. And being a civil servant, I think I would like not to deal with him in any way, because that would be double standard. He is a civil servant and he resigned. I think that, according to my records from the Secretariat, that was on 21st November 2021. That's when he resigned. But as it were,
as an NDC member.
yes, yes. So that even the issue of civil servant doing some politics here and there, it is nowhere near.
How wise is it that he resigned when, in the actual sense, he got to that position because of NDC membership?
Yeah, you see, the rule of the game is that you cannot be a civil servant and then at the same time doing the politics, because there will be conflict of interest there. So it's not that when he has resigned, then we can't be friends, we can't be colleagues. We can.
But he can still maintain a membership. Maybe he cannot be actively involved in the party, but he can remain a member of the NDC.
He can.
And there is no harm in that.
Exactly. But
so why would he resign totally when, in the actual sense, he is there because he was NDC?
No, it is the party now to be able to see, is it a conditional kind of resignation?
Okay.
Because even now, when he's not around, here we are, and we are moving, and I'm moving the party.
And what if he was asked to leave the PS position?
That's about it.
And does he have the right to rejoin NDC?
He can apply, because the Constitution allows a person who was once a member, he resigned, or maybe was disciplined or expelled, you have the right to reapply, and then you go, either we send you to the section or to the branch, then you start coming up to a particular level. So
how is it not true then if members are saying, oh, now that he's where he is, he's eating, he decides to abandon us? Because his action also could speak that way.
No, you can give me an example. What is it that he has done? Because as chief custodian of the party, here we are. My role, our role in this alliance, it is not about eating. You see, Zach, the politics of the belly are gone. We understand that there could be an opportunity, because it's a club you are belonging to. Now, if there is an opportunity, let's say like the way he's appointed by the state president, that he serves in the government, surely, are you going to say, did he like it? No, it could have been the prerogative of the president that he was able to say, serve in the government. But we, as NDC, the members of the party, the Zambian people, you cannot crucify him and say he's eating. No, how come he has dumped what? We have to understand that that is a service to the Zambian people. Therefore, when it comes to the party, we have rules. We can't tie him. We should be able to say, don't play double standard. After all, the same that may be able to say, no, how come he has dumped or he has resigned but he's eating? If he maintains membership,
in this government who are holding party positions.
Yeah, but then it is an individual choice. If somebody feels I can't maintain and then he decides to, we can't crucify him and say, no, why should it be? And then we make politics out of that. We're saying no. And that's why when he's gone, to us, we have said it's a luta continua, and the party is moving. I am mobilizing the party, I'm organizing the party, and we have to grow this party in stature and number. Therefore, those assertions, those aspersions to say he's eating or he has dumped the party, no. Zax, you may wish to know that the reason why we are in the alliance, it's not for eating or the politics of the belly for our big man, the way you used to put it, Honorable Munkombwe. For us, we are looking at servitude. We are an alliance partner. If we are, it means we should be able to provide the checks and balances. After all, we in NDC, we have pillars, for your own information, that makes us stand as a democratic party. In other words, we're looking at the access. We are also looking at the equity. And we are looking at integrity of a leader. We are also looking at justice for all, and even the servitude itself. So when we come in this marriage of convenience, so to say, we are now saying that can we provide what we can in terms of checks and balances? And on other platforms, I have said that for me as Secretary General, we have an alliance secretariat where we do assemble, we meet as Council of Secretary Generals. And that's where we make our own submissions based on the cries of the Zambian people, based on what my chairman for economics can give me, my chairman for energy. Those things that they give to me when we meet as a Council of Secretary Generals, that's where we make a submission. And then, as Council of Secretary Generals, we have
In this case, you mean Secretary Generals of the alliance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Even Honorable Baduke Menda is
Yeah.
there. Nare Party, the SG is there.
Yeah.
Yes, MDC, the Joyce Msenge, she's there. So once we assemble, we are able to put the coins together. Now, once we do that, to us, those are the checks and balances. Base prices are not coming low. The fuel costs, the load shedding, mention it.
And how often do you meet, if I may ask?
Normally it's monthly. Yes. Yeah. Normally it's monthly like that. So when we have that table, the Council of Secretary Generals submits that through the Alliance Secretary, this President, that's Mr. Kaluba Simuyemba, is President for Movement for Change, MC4. Yes. Yeah. So once we submit, he forwards that to the Council of Presidents. And this is where, at the Council of Presidents, HH7 also is part of that Council of Presidents. And we believe he picks what we have submitted. And out of what is picked, being the ruling party president, he has to now involve his cabinet portfolios. He has to involve his line ministries and stuff like that. And then they have to do the implementation. Now, for argument's sake, or assuming that we do not get what we have submitted and answered or stuff like that, we'll never go public. We'll never go on the pulpit. It's like a marriage. We still come back. Once we meet, so we are not seeing these things happen. We become real. We tell them 1, 2 things, 3 things, 4 things. This can even cost us during the election time. Can we see that these things are done? And that's where we end as alliance partners. Stand on the pulpit simply because maybe there's one hitch, and then you say, no, let me be able to start crying foul and say, oh, no, that's not the way. But you must also understand, if certain things are not being answered as quickly as they're supposed to be, you have to understand that HH7 in this administration, he inherited a cocktail of problems as well. Yeah, there are issues which he thought, or even the other members thought, when they get in, maybe everything is in order completely, so to say. But once that is not in order, as the case may stand, that's where you may have seen maybe slowness in 1 or 2 things. And that should not be a crucifixion again to now concentrate on saying, what about the milli meal? Why is it not 50? What about the fuel? Why is it not 14 quite and stuff like that? We've got now to look at what is the way forward as far as the president is concerned.
Right.
He's always promoted and encouraged people to work hard, and he has shown signs of other positive indicators of the things that he's doing, which can clearly show that, okay, minus these coming down, this is the best way we can be able to go by what the president is saying. A lot of other achievements have come, which if I was to start tabulating it, they're quite, and you've heard in various circles, there have been that where have also been a stumbling block in ensuring that he concentrates on one item, so to say. Zach's, there are opposition political leaders now engaged with a solution. Never. Now, what type of checks and balances are those? A leader that lives in Zambia, this is my own country, and I'm a nationalist, what they should do is to ensure that when they are spotting a wrinkle in you, let them be able to show you how it can be done. That should be an emphasis, how it can be done. But this idea of, because one item hasn't gone well for one reason or another, maybe you are even a major contributor, then you come and say, for example, no, HH, come 2026, he should resign, or elections can be called earlier. If you tulekana, ichalo takwabo kuchinjanga eshati yo, ichalo bantu, paliba process. A leader wife, let him or her be interested in the baby and be interested in the mother so that both live. Not this business of pantu fechimota chifika fikapo. No, but there are some of these political leaders, I can't mention names. You hear them say, no, in 2026 they will lose it all. Taila kwana inshitale rumlanda taka fumepa nangu mulera ndataka fumepa ababa leanda ngaba he can't even be a president either. He can't, because currently the president has raised the standard of leadership, which we can be able to say that anyone that will be able to come should really pull up his socks, because the ones that I'm seeing, the ones that we are seeing as the NDC, fairness, if we were to say to compete between them, they really have to work extra hard. But what we are saying is, can we be able to see that we become fair by saying, yes, this is wrong, this is not right, but then how do we package it? We package it with an answer. That way it's better. And the calling of the president to resign before time, or to say, come this time, you leader, because a number of them, you find that some they are questionable characters. They have issues that you can even say, "Mm-mm, we haven't forgotten." But that one aside, this is what we are saying, that in the alliance government where we are, it's about servitude. Never to think of saying somebody has to eat. Yes, at some point, if there's an opportunity, there's an appointment that can come as a secondary thing. But for a start, it's servitude to see that we provide our checks and balances.
Is that confirmation that this alliance is on forever?
I would say so. You know, National Democratic Congress, NDC, the one that we are in fact, I can majestically and boastfully say we saved the alliance in 2021 August, because all along they have been a norm, a belief that alliances in Zambia don't work. Tell me of those other alliances. None of them worked. Of course, maybe because of selfishness and stuff like that. But then this time round, National Democratic Congress, NDC, we saved this alliance ourselves. Why? Because can you imagine, when 3 years down the line we were in this marriage of convenience, and then just when there was a 0.1 remaining, because I remember my brother Kambui, we put it to say it's 99.99%. We are done. We are almost there. Then that 0.01, that is the one that he came and said, Aba tuyana boyo, vantu tabali bwino, vabi na shani, without a good explanation. If we, myself, and the other members of the party, Akafumba by then as the president, if we never stood by the constitution of the party, it was going to be a broken alliance. And then the same belief was going to be there. So you can see alliances don't work. Now, I am boasting majestically to say we saved that, because we said, if it is to lose, let us lose with HH7. And we are going to lose with honor, because we could not see really what was the problem that actually could make us turn away at the 99.9%. And then we stood by the constitution. But those who believed in Kambwili to be NDC Kambwili, they went, a number of them. And I have to be quick to mention here that, in fact, at one time, Mr. Kambwili, he has to honor, to say sorry, Zambian people, particularly the NDC youths, aspiring candidates, and what he spoiled the lives of the political lives of those guys. He spoiled a number of them. Some wanted to be councillors, mayors, MPs, a number of them. But because they believed in him than in the constitution, they went with him as a populist leader. But then you can see at some point again, he leaves, he goes to PF, and then he leaves that party now in suspense. And the beauty about all that was that time when he became lunatic, so to say, because that one, when he said, when I go to PF, call me a lunatic. What Akafumba did,
Would you want to use that against him?
What is that?
Him saying, if I went back to PF, then call me lunatic. Would you want to still call him? Would you want to use that against him as well?
You see, when you are a leader, be careful with what you say. If people can get what you said and use it at that time, you don't even have to miss around, or maybe say you are talking about something which you never said. The memories are too fresh. Me and many others, we are victims of what he did, to have said, if he gets us. And almost when we want to go into election, he comes and changes things. Today, if we were not believing in the constitution and in the word, we were going to be this what you call the casualties of what is. A number of people here, political casualties in NDC, are there. Now, I'm just trying to use those terms. Also, it's a learning process for a number of leaders to know that you must be careful with the words that you use. He used those words, and I have no apology about that. But what we are trying, I'm emphasizing a point to say, at that time when he left, when we remained, Bwana Kafumba felt I should be appointed as national coordinator to do the cherry picking of the party. And we did that. And that was the saving of the alliance, that we saved the alliance until today when we are in the ruling government. In fact, a number of those that got lost, those whose political lives were, I'm happy to mention that a number of them have come back, a number of them, and have received them. Even up to this point, I can even be able to take an opportunity and say, all of you other members who up to now, some of them got stuck, some of them got discouraged, Others even ended up finding themselves in Congolese and there. I'm saying, come to the NDC in the UPND Alliance. My hands are open. The party members, their hands are open. We want you come back home. There is no any other NDC today. Takwaba, iya bakofenine aba munomu alliance. Bazax, inaisha Monaco, umuntu watira lero nine NDC ndina ba UPND. Kashita waima awe ine NDC ndina ba PF. Kashita awe ine NDC nalaba na bauka. Nomba icho chupo echo cha ulane michato lepita pati fetu walikuwa ne michato nomba iwo lepitana fyuko ulane michato chupo cha msango shani. That is why ndebati mweba shala ba member ba NDC iseni party yenu nihi, and the doors are still open as far as the alliance is concerned, because you were just gotten lost by somebody. So yeah.
So then I'm meant to ask, because you brought up the UCA issue, which is part of my my questions for you today. I mean, when UCA became what it is,
yes,
and of course the NDC, there's a voice of the NDC which is well, like you call it, illegitimate. NDC
yes
is part of the UCA, and this UCA seemed to have to some extent brought a different dimension to politics in terms of it's a united voice of the various opposition parties, and there's a talk around the fact that they are trying to register this, and this government, they are calling it undemocratic by the fact that they are refusing UCA to register. But this UCA says registration is not an issue, because even the UPND Alliance never registered as UPND Alliance party when they went into election. So even them, they can still get into an election without registering the actual UCA, but they can still go into an alliance.
It's
like
a
it was the case.
misconception. Listen. UPND Alliance partnership that we are in, there is a difference with this UCA business. That's why
different is it?
The time we were there as NDC, NAREB, maybe call it MDC, when we were together, and we are together up to now, there was a difference. There was a pivot center, and the pivot center was UPND, a party that has got michato na ikwata fyonse. Emlandu nitakuwa inokweba titien turanda tupange shineli ya nyowan pantu ba PF ngata basumini okulanda tupange shinali imbi. So pakati nankati pali UPND bonseko twale konena up to now. That's why we were able to move in that direction. No baba ukava mulande, which is the main pivot center which is there. Tapali ulelanda abantu abaisa uyabuka fe mpulu mputu inena alaba secretary general. Umbiabuka unanene wakateka wauku na alaba mumuuka. Bambi apa kuchirye bale bafuya kuchirye kya Milandu bali sula ne court pano tulelanda bali mulya nomba iyo mixture y'abantu abamusango yo surely ebo mwinga tola kuba tumapene michato nangu ni ba registrar of society bala mipashani mwabula ama office bearers. In fact, even I didn't mention about anyone who is going to come here, Zach, please, for goodness sake, to say I'm NDC president, whatever, ask them about the office bearers. I have got a copy of the office bearers here. Bwana Savoy, Madam Savoy, sorry, and Bwana Kaonga or Bwana Kambwi, they are not under the office of registrar in terms of office bearers.
Who are the office bearers? You have the names with you?
Yes, I have the names.
Would you like to share?
Yes, I can tell you what we have here. I will tell you that the president has been Akafumba by then, okay? He's the one that is one of those bearers as vice president. Because before that, you remember, if I may wish to go backwards, Bwana Msenge, when he registered this party, it was that time when Msenge and then there was that shake-up in PF where they were expelled. And by then, I was district chairman for Shibuyunji district under the PF. Yeah. But then when Bwana Msenge went to register that party, bakishimba batiroko inenkesa boyina la kusanga iwe kalembeshe baya balembeshe ya National Democratic Congress in this. But at that time, Bwana Msenge, he registered as Secretary General, and most of the powers were with him. All right. Yes. So among the office bearers, there was no president, only the Secretary General. But at the end of the day, You saw when Bwana Chimbakambwi came after he was expelled, now he saw no room in the PF. He couldn't come back as president of NDC. He used the term consultant.
Yes.
Consultant. Why? Because the office of the registrar, he was neither here nor there. Up to today, Savoy is similarly, they are not part. Now, when the party was deregistered, you remember, PF was there and NDC was the biggest threat. It was the biggest threat. They made sure this party is deregistered. At that time of deregistration, when now PS now, but former member for NDC, he fought tooth and nail together with the other team when the party was restored back. That is the time now when we made a revised constitution where there was now the vice president.
Okay.
It was left out no president because of knowing that until when we go to the National Congress, because when a party is in the formative stage, sometimes you don't rush all the bigger positions and stuff like that, but you put what is interim accordingly, especially when the office bearers are there. So it was Akafumba as president. Then there was Bamusenge as secretary general.
Right.
And then there was Bridget Atanga as the deputy secretary general. And then we had these other chairpersons there, Stephen Chewe. Then we had Christopher Mtale. And we had Frank Chiona. We had Charles Kabwita, who is now in the UPND. Then also we had Barbara Musa. I've got a list here just to make sure that is what you should even ask to say, where are you on the authenticity of this thing, not just to be able to play around and say, I'm a member. Yes. So you'll find that, yes, these are the names. I can mention them, yes. Not in any order, but the 10 names where you find that only Akafumba and the others are there, but Bamusenge, number one. Then there is also Barbara Musa. Then there's Brian Mlenga. Then we have Bridget Atanga, Charles Kabwita. And then we have also Christopher Mtale, Joseph Akafumbas, and Stephen Chewe, and Victor Mwangaila. So these are the 10. Now, in the process, we started having some of them out, and I'll explain to you why. Okay, PS Akafumba appointed, so he resigned. So the registrar was informed, the record is there to say he's no longer. Bamusenge, he said, okay, because our own internal issues, he decided to form his own party. Today, the registrar himself to write that. Talk about Kabwita, he's gone to UPND. Yes. Talk about Bridget Atanga. Also, she has indicated, no, me no longer. She's out. Then we have these others, Victor Mangaila and Brent. Frank Chiona also has gone to UPND. So all these, as chief custodian of the party, I am taking note and informing the registrar of society. So far, we only have 4 the names that have remained as office bearers. Chewe is supposed to be one, to be the five of them. But Stephen Chewe, I have to be hasty to mention that of late, administratively again, we've expelled him for a reason which I don't need to start talking here because
fine. So
now,
it looks like it's very skeletal.
No, wait. That's what I want you to hear, because I don't want you to come and say, why are they 5?
Yeah.
We've got a case before the courts of law, and they have clearly indicated that when it comes to substitution, we are going to do that under the guide of what they have said. When the court cases are done, that's when we'll fill up this. And we've already got names that we need to fill up to make the office bearers to come to 10.
Would that be at the convention or something?
No. When the court case is just done, the National Governing Committee has the powers to be able to recommend who should be able to be the office bearers, because that is the highest policy.
So when are you going to have a president?
This month, we're going to have a National Governing Committee meeting this month,
right?
Hopefully, while we're putting the resources together, so that the National Governing Committee, because it's got authority, it's got power to appoint a president in the interim, and possibly fill up all the other casual vacancies in terms of an democracy amongst ourselves, so that at that stage, this president that is elected within the National Governing Committee or appointed starts performing, as it were, with all the full authority of the Constitution. And if you have to go to a Congress, then you can go. But the highest policy-making body, which is the National Governing Committee, will be able to sit and now ensure that an appointment of a president, or even possibly doing an intra-party election, they will need to elect. And then